Timothy Seuton, love, peace, blessing, health, healing, abundance, happiness, joy. Something good is going to happen to you today. Genothi Seuton, know yourself, know the truth, and the truth shall make you and set you free. And wonderful, wonderful blessings of understanding, of true and saving teaching that assists us to be able to experience our own authentic life, being able to be who we truly are, being able to experience a heaven on earth experience in our everyday life, and to simply be able to feel good, to feel happy, to feel not just good, but good enough. And one of the best things that you can do for yourself is to remove from all of your mindset, all of your thinking, the idea that you are not good enough. My goodness, it is such a toxic idea. And for the religious people who are, have different types of religious traditions, just know that when you go back, that's how I started. I'm an ordained minister. I have a doctorate in ministry, and dedicated just such a huge amount of my time to seeking and searching the truth that does set us free. And when I kept searching and I kept looking, I kept finding an older version of the scriptures, and I found an older version, an older version, older version, until I finally followed an ancient pathway of the Essenes. And when I say pathway, it's because there's record of the Romans chasing them all the way. I think it was basically into the Himalayas, and are close there in that direction. And but anyway, the ancient record shows that they carried a version of the scriptures that never fell into the government hands, and never fell into the army that was ruled by a dictator's hands. And as far as I've been able to find, is the oldest version. And the original 10 Commandments are totally different. It's a different story. Moses and Aaron were not brothers. Aaron was, actually a practicer of blood sacrifice. Moses definitely was not. And after Moses assisted them to lead them out of Egypt, Moses had a different set of commandments, the 10 Commandments, much, much different. One of the original commandments is to forgive yourself. And so we find out that even in that ancient time, when things began to be twisted and corrupted, there was still the understanding that somehow humanity was evil sinners, and they were not good enough, and that they were so bad that God himself couldn't stand them anymore and was going to destroy them. And as a matter of fact, created a eternal torture that would destroy them for all eternity. And it's just terrible that this type of thinking has seeped its way into humanity, because it is an absolute lie, and the history records it, and you can find it if you're looking for it. I was, and I did, and it's just a complete different story. But anyway, this whole idea of you, me, all of us, humanity not being good enough, we're sinners, is a system of control. It's a method of brainwashing, and you can find it in the Sumerian tablets, ancient Samaria, Babylon. You can find them talking about, the kings talking about, how easy it is to control people by simply making them believe that they're not good enough, and making them believe that there's a serious problem and that the kings and the leaders are the only answer. And therefore, the people would, absolutely follow anybody who they thought, was going to save them from, something bad happening, from something going wrong, from the bad, evil beast that's going to come out of the wilderness and steal their children and their crops and all of this nonsense. But the whole point is that when you remember your earliest memories and you go back, there was never a question, there was never even a doubt that you were already good enough. We don't come with that programming. We don't come with that software. It's a virus that has to be downloaded into us from the outside. And if you can think back, you'll recognize that there's never a question in your life whether you were good enough or even whether there was something wrong with you personally until that influence was imposed upon you from the outside. So it's not natural. It's not how we were born. It's not the reason why everything is going wrong in the world and, people are rising up against people and, this group hates that group and, this group thinks they have the right to kill that group and take their stuff and take their land. That is a foreign alien programming that is imposed upon the human race that keeps us at war with each other and supplies this alien parasite with a never-ending supply of energy. Loosh is a term that has been used through the FBI and CIA research when they did their own private research into different realms, different dimensions. Remember, we see such a small amount, and this idea of believing what we see, what we see with our human eye is only 0.05% of the entire reality. So, if you want to be just logical and throw out all faith and anything that is supernatural, it is utterly illogical to only believe what you see with your eye. When there is so much more that affects us as human beings in the total existence of reality. So you're absolutely more than good enough. There's nothing wrong with you. You were born perfect. You are perfect. Nothing that you have done disqualifies you from your inheritance as a son and daughter of the Creator, as an inheritor of a human being on this planet. There is nothing that you do. As a matter of fact, everything that you may think disqualifies you is in fact a trap that was in place, that was imposed upon your mind with the purpose of trapping you, because these ancient influences have known how to manipulate and to control humanity the same way that we know how to manipulate and control cows and chickens, weaker species in the mind that we exploit so that we can feed off of them. Humanity feeds off of. It's the exact same process. It's the exact same system that is being imposed upon us by craftier, and again, the cows, especially the bulls, they are all stronger and more powerful than us. We just learned how to trick them, and the same thing has happened to us. We've been tricked by something that's craftier than we are, and we're supplying them with a never-ending source of emotional energy, which is what they feed off of. And so coming to the understanding, you're good enough. You're absolutely good enough. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to please anybody. There's nothing more that you have to do. You don't have to gain anybody's approval. And so when you are developing your own sacred space to truly empower yourself and to allow energy that you have been releasing to feed all sorts of different entities around you, to snap that back, to break that bondage, to break that vampire drainage that is attached to you, and to call all of that energy back to you so that you can have the energy that you need to not only just be natural, but to be what we would consider these days as supernatural, and to have the absolute unconditional ability to fulfill your purpose for manifesting in this time and space right now, to live your own personal authentic life, being a slave or being a servant to no one else, not being a slave or a servant to someone else's kingdom, but being the sovereign of your own kingdom, knowing that you personally are good enough. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to accomplish anything other than simply opening your eyes and enjoying this wonderful, wonderful, beautiful garden paradise that has been given unto humankind, to be able to understand the way energy works and to be able to use it to manifest and create our own personal kingdom that is as eternal as our own eternal personal spirit is. So with that, love, peace, blessing, freedom, deliverance, healing, truth, understanding unto you. Gnothi Seuton. Know yourself, know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Shalom, namaste unto you. Amen.